Hey guys, welcome to a long overdue episode of the Big Boy Diaries. I'm actually inspired this evening by a good friend of mine who is starting up his own YouTube channel, and I'm kind of helping him out with it. I got to talking about the channel that I had started, and it kind of got me to want to make a video and to talk to you guys about things that have changed since my last video venture. I know with YouTube channels, stuff like that, you have to be, I guess you'd say you have to be consistent and not afraid to self-promote. But I tried podcasting, and it got... I won't say it got tiresome because I talked about pro wrestling. I love pro wrestling. But at the same rate, I couldn't get it to gain traction. So I just kind of said, maybe not. So, but who knows? I may pick that back up again. Wrestling has become interesting in a lot of ways as of late. But... can't remember the last time that I made a video. I'll tell you guys this. I found out today that probably since January I've lost 20 pounds. If I'm on track, it's been close to, we're right at a year now since day one, September the 7th. I'm literally, let's see, what is today? Today is the 21st. There is 31 days, so that's 10. I'm less than, I'm a little bit more than 2 weeks out. So, with that being said, if I lost a pound every week, that would put me being down right around 50 pounds. So that's the thing that I regret the most now, looking back on it, is that I never did a day one weigh-in. And for myself, I understand why I didn't, because I had a really negative relationship with the scales, and that number would have probably crushed me. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I was probably well over 300 pounds on my day one venture, if that's the way we want to say it. So, that would probably put me in the 310 range, and I'm close to 260 these days. So, 264 to be exact, if everything has to be 100% accurate. So, day one, or actually, I'll say it this way. The first few months of my journey during starting out again with DDP yoga, or if I have to say it this way, because Dallas refers to it this way, DDPY, because it's not just yoga. It really isn't. It isn't just yoga. It's a lot of rehab moves, power moves, and yoga poses that make up DDPY. It's not typical yoga, but enough really about that. What I was getting at is, when I first started DDPY, there was always a move that kind of eluded me, I guess you would say. That I always thought I wanted to do, and that would be Black Crow. Now, if you don't know what Black Crow is, or you've never seen Black Crow, it's more or less where your body weight is held up by your shoulders and your forearms and hands, while you basically have a balancing act going on with your legs on this piece of your arm, close to your triceps. And I was able to do that, which just shocks me, because I never thought that I would be able to do that move. It's always been something that I said, someday I'm going to do that. Someday I want to do that. I just never thought that it would happen within a year of doing DDPY. And, you know, it's ridiculous how much my life has changed. How much my mindset has changed. How much more willing now that I am to say, this is what I want. This is what I want out of life. This is what my life needs to look like for me to be happy, and for me to be okay with saying that, because I'm I'm not building myself up to be a saint, but I am a selfless human being. I put a lot of people first. It's a very strange place for me to be, because as I said before, I'm a selfless person. I do put a lot of people before I put myself, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not selfish to know what you want out of life. It's not selfish to know what's going to make you happy in life. It's not selfish to, in some cases, put yourself first, to put your mental health first, to put your physical health first. But again, it still blows me away that I got into Black Crow. And the next day, I was so self-conscious, really insecure. Anybody that has body image issues knows exactly what I'm talking about. I accomplished something that I said a year ago, basically, I was going to do. And then the very next minute, I look at myself and I'm like, Jesus Christ, your stomach, your man boobs, but stuff like that. And that can be crippling at times for a lot of people. And my buddy had told me, he said, the reason that you feel insecure today is because you achieved a goal, and now what do you have to push towards next? But as Diamond Dallas Page does say in the DDPY videos, there's always somewhere else to go. So I've done Black Crow. That was, a first year goal. Actually, that was just a lifelong goal, and I got to it. So now I guess I'm going to have to find something else yoga related to push for. Maybe like a handstand or something like that. I don't know. But something that I thought would be pretty cool to do is kind of go back and watch my first video. I went back a couple times and watched bits and pieces of it, and I may play it like down in the corner right here, so we can kind of watch it together. But I'm going to go ahead and start the video, and I'll play it down on the bottom for you guys. So, first off, title, every journey begins with a single step. And that's true. The biggest step is the first step. You know what? I'm just going to be quiet. Let's watch a video. All right. So, if you're watching this video, it's really different for me to know that I'm shooting a video and I'm looking off to this way. But I feel that it's really important on a journey that you talk about why you're on the journey. You talk about what's brought you onto the journey. I'm just shooting from the hip. So, first thing that I notice is I'm wearing a hoodie in this video. And in this video, I'm wearing a cut-off shirt, which I have no clue what is possessing me to do such a thing. I have really short hair. I've trimmed my facial hair down really close, I guess because I felt that it made me feel better. Even the caption is big boy turned big boy again, or former big boy turned big boy again. So when I shot this video, I could not wear my actual wedding band, which belonged to my dad. And as you can see now, after a few months of watching what I ate and, you know, trying to make common sense choices, I can wear my dad's wedding band again, and it's really, it's cool. I'm just seeing a lot of little things in this video. Whatever, that's fine. Because, you know, no one's ever used the word, I guess you would say, unless another kid says it to you. But I was a bigger kid, and my brothers and my mom would tell me, like, oh, you come from a big family. I mean, in reality, look at these. I mean, do you see these? These are huge. My feet are just as big. I'm about 5'11". Yeah, I'm not tiny, but I'm not huge either. But my senior year of high school, I was stretching 2X shirts for them to fit. Wearing a 42, probably tight, in jeans. I mean, I was a big guy. And I was lonely. Like, dating when you already have self-esteem issues, dating is impossible. And add that on the awkwardness of being a 16, 17-year-old kid. You know, it doesn't spell out good things. So I started college. I was still the same size. Right up to the time that I met my wife, the woman now, girl then, who was my wife. And I started to do some like boxing workouts, some cardio workouts to try to lose weight. I tried walking, I tried doing running to lose weight. And I did. Even up until after the time we got married, I went from probably being willing. That is my first weight loss go around, I guess you would say. This picture that's up right now, that was high school. I'd probably been married to my wife 5 years, maybe, something like that. Now, a funny story, I was asked if I was on the juice by a friend of the family, which never happened. I'm afraid of needles, yet I have a tattoo. So, fun fact. 100 pounds to be in 220, 218 sometimes. I was noticing huge advancements in my muscle tone, even muscle growth. I was getting in really good shape. Wearing anywhere from a 38, probably 38 comfortably. Could probably squeeze into a 36, but I'm not about that life. Large, extra large. Could probably wear a large most of the time. And this is like, and I'm sorry, like, if it's a pet peeve, because I'm looking out the window. It's to keep me from looking here. Like, when I'm looking at this, I can tell that I'm looking off. So it's hard for me to look directly into the lens with the video going. I may end up taping it, so I have to look right here. But, you know, fast forward to my job that I work now, and I'm not going to say where I work, but it's a more stressful environment than any job that I've worked before. And I was even warned by one of the managers there, you will pack on weight if you don't watch. You will stress eat, you will eat out of boredom, because I'm in retail. So if the store's not busy, I'm not busy. So I could tell that gradually I was gaining weight. Didn't really think that there was a serious issue because I was still wearing an extra large, and I always wore extra large because sometimes it depended on the way the shirt was made, but most of the stuff I wore was way more comfortable in an extra large or even a 2X sometimes, because now they make clothes in baby gap sizes. So moving forward, like I say, I noticed that I was gaining some weight, but I was pretty, it was moderation. So fast forward to 2000 and probably 17, there's some stuff that goes on at my job, and I'm stressing a lot, and I get up probably in the 300-pound range or better. I'm going to be straight with you. There was almost 2 or 3 of us that got fired at my job, but neither here nor there. So, or better. So, I think when someone is big and then they lose weight and then they gain all their weight, they find a way to justify it. And I was like, well, the size of your clothes doesn't depict how good you look. And to me, that's still true. But at the same rate, I was using that as a crutch to say, if I'm wearing a 2X and it looks good, that's all that matters. Because it doesn't. Because if you don't feel good inside, you're not going to feel good outside. That's going to project. And fast forward to probably the really profound stuff for a guy who's just starting to figure out his own life. Past 3 months of my life, there's been some big changes. I'm kind of give you a story of who I am. I'm a father of a 4-year-old, husband, minister, retail sales consultant. Some of you already know by that what I do. If you've worked for the same company, you already know what I do. But my plate's full. I'll say it that way. And I'm getting ready to be a dad again in December. Like, it literally in less. I'm going to stop right here. Look at this kid. Adorable. The 4-year-old is almost 5 years old now. And I still don't have a grasp on being a dad of 2. So, less than 3 months, I'm going to be a dad again. So, with all that, and plus, like, one of the best managers that I ever had doesn't work at my store anymore. He moved to a different location, and I didn't really deal well with that because after losing my dad in 2011, bits and pieces of my psyche, I guess, maybe, my personality, maybe, were damaged by that. And he kind of filled that gap because he made me feel like I had a father figure again. So, I got into this place here as of late where I just, I didn't care. And I don't care. For all the wrong reasons. Like your mood, your personality, Your being should never change because of outside circumstance or environment. Your joy should never change. Your disposition should never change because of who you're around, your social class or other people's social class, or what you have or what you don't have. Others should never dictate your joy. And I honestly, over the last couple of weeks, I've got to a place where I was going to seek professional help. Like, I don't know, go to a doctor and get a recommendation or get a checkup and see, like, if there's something wrong with me. And there most definitely had to be something wrong with me to feel the way that I felt all the time. I thought I was depressed. I thought I had chronic depression, or depression and anxiety go hand in hand, from what I understand. A little bit of internet research, which is never 100% a reliable source, by the way. But anyway, and I'm going to be spiritual for a second, because whether or not you believe it, God does speak to you. God does say things to you. He does lead you and guide you in a small, still voice that you may overlook or play off as your conscience or just you being a good person. But I think He speaks to everyone. And, and I think if you just open up your ears and open up your heart, you'll hear it and you'll know it. But I kept hearing about mounting a comeback and making a comeback. Everyone loves a good comeback story. And like I would tell myself, you have to make a comeback. You have to rally. You have to fire up, dude. And I would just tell myself, you don't have the heart for it anymore. You don't have the ability to fire yourself up anymore. And I believed it. Like, I full on believed that I knew living and going on the way that I have. And today is just day one of this lifelong journey. The long, hard road out of the slump or the slums or the sticks or whatever you want to say, out of the junkyard. But I do want to document it. But a friend of mine that I work with asked me, he said, dude, are you okay? And I guess that's what it took. Like, I guess that was the trigger moment where I could either tell someone, hey, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. And just play it off like everything's all right. When really, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to add that without a doubt now, regularly, I tell this friend that he saved my life. That had he never asked the question, and he tells me, he's like, brother, I just planted the seed. You watered it and you made all this stuff happen. But had it not been for him planting the seed, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be trying to live the very best life that I can. I wouldn't be on a 100-day journey doing DDPY every day. But I tell him regularly that he saved my life. He gave my kids their dad back, and my wife her husband back. And if this ever gets to you, man, I really do. I owe you so big for shaking me and waking up the guy that's here right now. The guy who's achieved goals. And he has helped me so much along the way, even with getting comfortable with being on the scale again, because he done it with me the first time, back in January or maybe February. I think it was February. He got on the scale with me. He literally stood beside me. He said, "Close your eyes. You don't have to look down if you don't want to look down." But when I did, it was such a relief, because he told me, he's like, "See, man, it's not that bad. You probably done better than you thought you did." So, thanks again, brother. Really, you're a broken human being, as most of us are. Thought I heard a noise. Sorry. I'm home alone. And I told him everything. I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm on the verge of just giving up." And he told me, he's like, "Yeah, man, I understand." So that happened. So that's happened to me. So I've been there. I'm trying to think of a PG way to say this, but he told me that it's time to kick its butt. And it's time. It really is. It's time for me to mount a comeback, and I have. I've vowed to be the most positive energy in the room. I've vowed to be a better husband, a better father, a better friend, a better minister, a better follower, a better leader, following him to lead others. Say it that way. But the biggest thing is I started doing DDP yoga. And DDP, if you don't know, is a guy who turned professional wrestler at a very late age in life. And he always dreamed of winning the world championship title. And at his age, at the time, that just didn't happen. Most of the time, people at his age were coming out of the business. And, he eventually left the business and started doing other ventures. But you can Google him. I don't really want to go into all of what he's done. But he's a very positive role model. And this morning I seen a quote from his guide for DDP yoga, and it says that life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it. And that's why earlier in this short little video, nothing can dictate. Short little video. The count on this video is 22 minutes. No concept of time. Dictate your joy. Nothing can dictate happiness. If an outside source or circumstances or an environment where you work dictates how you react instead of you dictating how you react to it, wake up. Like, this is your chance. This is your moment to make a comeback. This hit me this morning. This is your opportunity to make a comeback. This is your opportunity to fire up, to get going. I'm not telling you, and I know it's the same for me. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, that it's going to happen in a day. I'm not saying it's going to happen in a month for you, but you need to fire up and you need to mount a comeback. Every second is an opportunity for you to turn things around. Because, as Diamond Dallas Page says, people are the stories that they tell themselves. I'm too weak. I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough. I don't have enough heart. I don't have enough drive. I don't have a will in my body. I don't have will in my heart. I'll just never be. And that will be the truth. because you dictated that. You told that story about yourself. Diamond Dallas Page says something, or refers to something called owning your life. And you do. You have to own your life. You decide your happiness. You decide your joy. You decide your pleasure. Your what makes you the most happy. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to be positive in a situation? You. The only thing that stands between the you that you want to be and the you that you are is you. I realize that. I know that the weight that I've gained is not going to come off by eating a salad. I know the weight that I've gained is not going to come off by itself. Bob Harper says something because I was also a Biggest Loser fan during my weight loss journey. It took you. Okay, well, I'm just going to say it for me. It took me 30 years to lose and gain and lose and gain the weight that I've gained back. And it's going to take that equal amount of time to lose it. Like, there's no magic pill. There's no magic formula or potion that you can take. If it took you 10 years to gain the weight, it's probably going to take you 10 years to lose it. Simple as that. So the biggest takeaways from my day today was I'm in charge of my joy. I'm in charge of my happiness. I'm in charge of my mood. I'm in charge of my environment. I'm in charge of how others around me react. I can be the most positive energy in the room. And positive energy is infectious. And it drives out those who carry negative energy because their negativity can't function. Because misery loves company. If someone else is miserable, they want other people to be miserable. I'm not about that anymore. And ever so often I will come back and I will video other stuff to kind of give you an update of where I am. But it's going to stick this time. Because the me that lived on this earth the past 2 months of my life wasn't going to make it very long. The me that lived 2 weeks ago was not going to make it to see his son graduate or see his daughter go to high school or go to college or see either of them get married or even grow up. They was probably going to grow up with their grandpa raising them and some of me and my brothers or whatever. But everybody loves a comeback story. Be a comeback story. Everybody loves a comeback story. Whoever's watching this, we have sat and groveled and laid down and just smeared ourselves in our own pity, in our own junk, in our own garbage, in our own low self-esteem, in our own feelings, in our own trash. But everybody loves a comeback story. That's the reason why all 6 Rocky movies, if they're on in order or you find them all on Netflix, that's why you watch them. It's the story of a guy who had nothing, who was considered nothing, who was told he would never be nothing, becomes the world heavyweight champion. Defies the odds, overcomes the odds, beats the odds, shoves it in everybody's face, and is still super humble about it all. But I wasn't wrong. Everybody loves a comeback story. So, got about 2 minutes left. You got a choice. You can either continue to stay where you're at, or you can fire up. That's your choices. Stay where you're at or fire up. Because I promise you, if you stay where you're at, you're never going to change. Nothing's ever going to change for you. You're going to feel like crap for the rest of your life. You're going to feel like garbage every day. Why do I say that? And that sounds harsh, because I know. Nothing in my life ever changed because I just decided to lay down. You can't lay down. You can't quit. Because another DDP quote, if you quit right now, you're going to go back to where you started. And then when you go back to where you started, you'll wish you where you was when you quit. And there's nothing in this world more true than that. Because after this video, the next morning, I'm pretty sure I started my first DDPY workout. Now, granted, this had probably been about, 2 years maybe after the fact of stopping DDPY. I can't quite remember how it happened, but something happened to my neck. I don't know if it was improperly, holding positions or something just going on, and I strained it. But there's nothing in this world that feels worse than when you have come to such a place where you're good with working out, or you're good with lifting weights, or you're good with doing yoga, or you're good with running, and you've quit, and then you go back to doing yoga, or you go back to doing weight training or running, because it is the worst feeling ever. My first workout back, I was almost in tears, because I remember how much better I was at holding these positions. When I went into lunge and I had to drop to my knee, it broke my spirit. So that is a great takeaway from this video, is that if you quit where you are now, when you start back up again, you wish you'd never quit. So never give up. And that's 100% gospel. My body right now, some of the achiness and the hurt from doing DDP yoga this morning will attest to that. Sorry. Testify to that. Sorry, it wasn't the next day. It was, I'd done my first workout before this video. I haven't watched all of it till just now. But it's your choice today. You can wallow, or you can mount up a comeback. And that's it for the Big Boy Diaries. So, just a quick couple of thoughts. First of all, it wasn't really hard to watch because I've watched it several times. Pieces of it anyway. Just to kind of revisit so I never go back to a day one feeling. I got all my hair back, or most of it anyway. I got my confidence back, because needless to say, I would never at that time dream of recording a video now with without sleeves, at least. Although, I still have days where I don't feel the best, or I don't feel the greatest. Where a guy that I used to do martial arts with said he's having a fat day. And I feel that's probably going to be a thing for the rest of my life, even if I do get down to, or even when I get down to my goal weight. But just to hear myself say some of those things, and to know where I was at probably 24 hours prior to that, and to hear myself say things like I was saying, and to know where I was and where I am now, to know that a 20-minute workout was absolutely destroying me, in my body, in my heart, and to know that now, like, I don't do the hardest workout that's out there for DDPY, but I do probably its kid brother. To know that now I do that without an issue. I still have to modify, and I still have to go in the safety zone. I think that's going to be a thing forever. Potentially, who knows? Just to know how much different things are here, to know how much different things are with my body image, and really even the way that I look now. Not so much like through here. I'm still. I can tell differences, but more so, a lot of my differences are right here, my torso, and my endurance during workouts. I notice is really different, but it's just amazing to me that now it's almost a year later, and I'm not even close to the same guy. Mentally, I'm not even close to the same guy that was in the video that you guys watched over here, or that we watched together. COVID-19. This was our movie night, so glad to be a part of your stay-at-home order. But if I could go back and talk to the guy that shot that video, sitting right here in this very position, I couldn't begin to tell him how much things were about to change. Like, I couldn't tell him the amount of confidence that he's about to have. I couldn't tell him how strong he was about to be. And I get, I don't know, like, this is probably the first time that I've ever got teary-eyed, even thinking about this. I couldn't express to him how much more he's gonna be able to do with his kids, or how much more he's gonna appreciate his kids, how much more he's gonna be able to appreciate his wife, if you know what I mean. No, nothing like that. But I couldn't even imagine now that a year later, when I was shooting that video, that I would inspire other people to just start doing yoga, because they see the difference in my body and they say, how do you do it? What kind of diet are you on? I'm not on what I consider a diet. I still eat pretty much whatever I want to. Now, granted, like, I'm not eating, 4 double cheeseburgers and 3 orders of fries. I'm not binge eating. Let me say that. I'm not binge eating. I'm eating common sense, and I'm eating smaller portions compared to what I would have ate prior. Usually I keep it, 3 meals a day, maybe a couple of snacks, which are usually granola bars or protein, the little cups that are like a brownie or a cupcake or something like that. sugar-free soda because I could not kick Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is the devil's love potion. I'm sorry. And you know what? If that's not okay with you, well, that's just fine. You know, my journey is not your journey. My choices are not your choices. Now, granted, I realize if I could do more proteins and less fats and less sugars, I would probably be a lot farther down the road than I am right now. And that's okay, because I've made slow, consistent changes. Have I had mess ups? Absolutely. Every day, probably, I've messed up somewhere. Maybe not eating the right foods, or not adhering to my sugar-free, or just a myriad of things. But this is literally, in my opinion, in my honest, meager, humble, common man opinion, this is the best version of me that I've had in a long time. And I don't ever see me going back. This is video accountability, Brian. You can never go back to day one. And if today is your day one, this is what I want to say to you. You only have one day one experience. You only have one day one experience where everything sucks, where you're hungry, where you want a soda, where the workout sucks and your body hurts and your heart rate's up and you're huffing and puffing. But tomorrow is day two. Tomorrow is where it gets a little bit easier, where your wind is a little bit stronger, where your body is a little bit stronger, where you can run a little bit farther, where you can walk a little bit farther, where you can do whatever it takes for that day. Like, I can't place why I'm so excited about this, but your day one experience is a one-time thing. Tomorrow you'll be stronger. Tomorrow you'll be mentally stronger, you'll be physically stronger, you'll be spiritually stronger. So, I'm closing in on a whole year of just growing. Like mentally growing, physically growing, spiritually, just clearing out junk and being a better version. So, as I said on the very first video, and I guess that's the way I'm going to close it out almost a year later, that's it for the Big Boy Diaries.